If you're planning on relocating to the Chicago suburbs, one of the biggest questions you're probably asking yourself is, should I rent first or should I buy right away? And honestly, there's no universal right answer, but there are right answers depending on your specific situation. So in this video, I'll break down the real pros and cons of renting versus buying in the Chicago suburbs, what most people don't consider when moving here, and how to decide which option actually makes sense for you. And by the way, for you guys who are new here, my name is Jake Mesa, a Chicagoland realtor helping people just like you make smart moves in and around the Chicago suburbs. And whether your move is next week or next year, I'd love to partner with you in this journey. If at any point you want to talk through your specific situation, here's my email below or click the link in the description to get connected. When moving to the Chicago suburbs, there's a lot to take in. Each suburb has its own personality, school districts play a huge role in value, commute times matter more than people may expect, and property taxes are definitely something you need to understand clearly. This isn't like moving to a city where everything feels the same from block to block. Choosing whether to rent or buy here can affect your finances, your lifestyle, and even your long-term flexibility more than you might realize. So let's just start with renting. One of the biggest advantages of renting when you're relocating here is flexibility. If you haven't spent much time here previously, renting allows you to learn the area before committing long-term. You can test the commute, see how a suburb feels day to day, and figure out where you actually want to be before buying a home. Renting also comes with lower upfront costs. Usually you're looking at first month's rent, security deposit, maybe a move-in fee, but that's it. No heavy closing costs, no long-term commitment. You give yourself time to get your finances in order and truly spend time traveling around to see which area truly fits your needs here. That said, renting in the Chicago suburbs does come with some real drawbacks. Rents in desirable suburbs can be surprisingly high, especially for single-family homes. Inventory can also be limited, meaning you might not have a lot of options if you're set on a certain area or even a school district. And of course, when you're renting, you're not building equity, and over time your payment can increase, and you also don't have much control over the property itself. If the long-term goal is to be situated here for the next 5 to 10 years, I would suggest using this rental path as a testing period and nothing more. Now let's talk about buying. One of the biggest advantages of buying in the Chicago suburbs is its long-term stability. Many of these areas are known for their strong value retention and steady appreciation, especially in suburbs with great school districts and infrastructure. When you buy, your monthly housing cost becomes much more predictable, especially compared to the rising rents these suburbs have been seeing over the past few years. You also have the ability to customize your home, put down roots, and build equity over time. However, buying does come with a few things that surprise a lot of relocating buyers. Property taxes are usually the biggest shock, and for fair reasons. Taxes are much higher here than in any other states, but they also fund things like schools, parks, local services, which is part of why values tend to stay super strong here and drive so much demand year over year. Buying also means higher upfront costs and responsibility for maintenance. And when buying, an upfront cost that many people forget is including the closing costs on top of the down payment. A safe bet is to plan for an additional 2 to 3% of the purchase price, as well as however much you plan to put down on the home. And if your plans change quickly, selling a home isn't as flexible as ending a lease, but while prices are increasing year over year and homes priced right still are selling within the first week or month, selling within the first 2 to 3 years and accounting for any costs associated with the sale may make it difficult to retain your whole initial investment into the home. Now here's where most people actually get stuck, which is the numbers. At first glance, renting might look cheaper month to month, but when you zoom out over the next 3 to 5 years, buying can often make more sense financially, especially if the plan is to stay put for a while. Renting is definitely a great short-term solution, but over time, you're just paying someone else's mortgage, and when it comes time to move, you have nothing to show for after all those hard-earned payments you've been making. And the biggest theme I go over with my clients, especially when they're on the fence on this same topic, is that buying is not about timing the market, it's about time in the market. The key is looking beyond just the monthly payment and understanding the bigger picture. So renting usually makes sense when you're brand new to the Chicagoland area and you're still getting a feel for how everything works here. If you're unsure about your job situation, commute, or long-term plans, renting can give you a breathing room without locking you into any major decisions too quickly. Renting also makes sense if you're still narrowing down suburbs. The Chicago suburbs are very different from one another, and living in an area for a year can help you understand traffic patterns, school environments, and the day-to-day lifestyle before committing to a purchase. It's also an amazing option if you plan to build or buy new construction later on, or if flexibility matters more to you right now than long-term ownership. For a lot of relocating buyers, renting first isn't a setback, it's a smart transition step. On the flip side, when buying right away makes sense is when you have stable income and a clear plan to stay in the area for at least the next 5 years or more. If you're relocating with family, care about school districts, or want to put down roots right away, buying can offer long-term stability and peace of mind. Buying also makes sense if predictable housing costs are important to you. Locking in a monthly mortgage payment can protect you from rising rents and give you more control over your whole monthly budget. And if you already know which suburb fits your lifestyle, whether that's based on commute, schools, or the community, buying sooner can help you secure a home before prices and rents continue to rise. Now let's cover some of the mistakes I commonly see relocating buyers make that you need to avoid. The biggest one being overestimating property taxes without truly understanding their value. A lot of people hear Illinois property taxes and immediately assume it's a bad deal without taking a look at what those taxes are actually supporting. In many Chicago suburbs, higher property taxes are tied directly to stronger school districts, well-maintained infrastructure, parks, libraries, and local services, which are all things that drive long-term demand and resale value. Next would be choosing a suburb based on the name and not the lifestyle that it supports. Many buyers pick a suburb just because they've heard the name before without fully understanding commute times, day-to-day feel, and how it fits their lifestyle. What looks great on paper doesn't always translate to how it actually feels in your life every day. Now, mistake 3 is renting too long without a plan. Again, renting first can be smart, but staying in a rental too long while waiting for the perfect market often means rising rents and missed ownership opportunities. Renting works best when it's intentional and tied to a clear plan. And when I work with relocating clients, the goal isn't to push renting or buying, it's to help you make the smartest decision for your situation. Everyone's timeline, finances, and priorities are different, especially when you're moving to a whole new state. That usually means breaking down specific suburbs, realistic costs, commute expectations, and long-term plans so you're not just making a quick decision, but a confident one. Whether that plan leads to renting first or buying right away, the focus is making sure your choice actually supports your lifestyle and goals. In fact, the last 3 relocation clients I've worked with ended up renting first, and 2 of them are now in the buying search phase of their journey here. So whether you're ready to make your move next week or in the next few years, it's never too early to start planning. Reach out to me at my email here, and we can set up a time to talk through your specific goals and needs to make sure your move to the Chicago suburbs is smooth and calculated, not rushed. And if you want to get a head start on researching which suburbs may be a right fit for you, watch this video where I honestly rank each Chicago suburb from worst to best. My name is Jake Mesa, your Chicago suburb realtor, and I'll see you in the next video.